Hey everyone, welcome to Roads of Oz. My name's Matt and this is the Oxley Highway, and it is one of the best roads you will find in New South Wales. It is a lot of fun and you're going to see more on this video. So the ride from Sydney to Walcha is about just under 5 hours, and including stops, you're probably looking at a touch over 6. So I normally go up from Sydney and I'll normally stop at Gloucester. So when I get to Gloucester, I normally stop and have lunch. There's normally a cafe there I go to, it has some nice bike memorabilia and also a couple of smaller bikes on show there. The food's quite good value. I had a hamburger and chips and a coffee for about $20, which is going to bring me onto a bit of a rant. Now, I had this rant on my last video talking about my Pirelli STs, but I'm going to go over it again. When you're doing this road, make sure your tyres are in very good condition. If they're getting quite low and look like they might need replacing, it's best you replace them, because this road is going to destroy them in quite a short period of time. If you've got decent rubber, you're less likely to crash, and no one wants to crash. It just ruins your trip. So due to its distance from Sydney, I ended up staying the night in Walcha. I stayed at a lovely pub called the Aspley Arms Hotel. Now, accommodation there is $65 a night for a single bed, or if you splash out for $75, that will get you a queen size bed and a continental breakfast in the morning. Now, they do have meals there and they're quite filling and good value, and the drinks are cold and it's quite a nice pub to stay at. I'll be definitely staying there again. Now, if you're riding up in here in winter, be prepared. It is very cold. It was -2 when we woke up in the morning, and the bike was not happy running when I first started it. Look at this, it's not happy warming up. Now, of course, it was so cold, we got breakfast at the Walcha Royal Cafe, which looks like an old pub that's been converted. And what you'll find there is some great artwork to fill in the time and have a look at. The man who made all this stuff is very talented. I did like his version of an ironbark tree, all made out of star pickets. It took him a couple of months to make. And I asked him why it took so long, and he said it was going to start as a small tree and just grew into something larger, and the biggest hold up was finding disused star pickets. Breakfast was good. The bacon, egg roll and the coffee was good value and very filling. And we didn't end up leaving there till about 10 o'clock when the fog had finally started to disappear and it got to a temperature in the higher end of the single digits. Now, Wauchope is only 163 kilometres, and you'll find the first 70 kilometres not that interesting. It's just straight road really, minimum bends, but you are doing 110, so you do make up good time. And it doesn't get interesting till you see the speed limit drop down to 100, then down to 80, and that is where the true fun begins. All the way along flat, it's just bend after bend after bend, and they're all 35 kilometres, the occasional 25 kilometre an hour. The road is fantastic, and this is why we come up here. The road's quite busy on the weekends with car enthusiasts and motorcyclists alike coming up and enjoying these roads. I come up during the weekday as it wasn't as busy, but you've still got to be wary of trucks, trailers and other caravans. road crews there trying to look after the road and doing a very good job of it. Be courteous to them, be patient. They're just trying to get their job done and make the road a better experience for all of us. Now there was a reason earlier in this video I had a rant about tyres, and the reason was I was one of the culprits. I didn't check my tyres properly and I let them get far worse than the picture you saw previous. It got to a stage where the wires were actually hanging out of the tyres and I had to limp into Singleton. Now I was very lucky and I was helped out by a great workshop. Now I'd like to give a big shout out to Jason and the crew at Singleton Bike Shop. Without them, my trip wouldn't have been possible. Now, I got to 20 k's just outside of Singleton, saw my bike tyre was absolutely chunked, called them, they didn't have the tyre. I ended up buying the tyre from another shop and there was no other motorcycle shop that could fit the tyres within like a 50k radius. So I went and spoke to Jason and he helped me up massively. So if you're ever in the area, drop into Singleton Bike Shop. It's a very old school looking bike shop. It looks fantastic and I really liked the look of it. But more importantly, they're very helpful, and without them, I wouldn't have been able to bring you this video. So normally with my videos, I normally have the camera mounted on the helmet, but because I've got the showy helmet, I've only just started wearing it, I didn't want to mount the camera on it just yet. So for the moment I've got the camera mounted on the handlebars, and I really like the perspective it gives from the handlebars, seeing part of the speed up and the road. Let me know in the comments if you prefer it set up here or if you actually prefer it on the helmet. Now I still have my old helmet set up with the camera mounted on the side and I'll still be using that, but hopefully I'm going to get another GoPro and actually mount it off the handlebars looking back towards me for a few more motovlog vids. So after a quite long run of these glorious bends, you're going to come into a little town called Long Flat, and it's a good place to stop at the little pub on the left and grab a drink, and on the other side of the pub is a little general takeaway store that does a great beef roll with gravy, and highly recommended. Also at that store they've got fuel, 95 unleaded or diesel, so pretty much good for us bike folk. Best to fuel up there if you plan on going back along the Oxley towards Walcha, because the last thing you want to do is run out of fuel like I did. I blame it on the altitude, but realistically it was the heavy right fist. Normally my bike gets about 250 to 260. I run out of fuel at 230 k's, which left me stranded about 10 k's out of Long Flat on the way back. So there you have it, that was my run from Walcha to Wauchope along the Oxley Highway. It was one of my favourite rides, the first time I've done it, and hopefully it won't be the last. I plan on going up there again later on in the year. Anyway, on that note, please like, share and subscribe if you found the video useful or entertaining. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.